Hey, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Fixed Ops Mastermind. So, last week, end of last week, I put up a post. The post is here for everybody to see. The post took off. Very simple idea, something that I witnessed while I was sitting having my wife's car serviced in the waiting room of the dealership. The suggestion that I made to the advisor that he could turn around a customer simply by replacing a key fob battery, because I heard him go to parts looking for a key fob battery after being upset about the price. Never expected. I literally posted this while I was still sitting in the dealership. Just something I observed. Didn't expect the kind of response that it got. But obviously, it touched something out there about simple gestures. And so today, we are joined by Kyle Morissette, Chief Revenue Officer at TechWall, powered by Gratis, and Joe Clemente, who's a Vice President with Traver Connect. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We do have one more guest who is stuck on another call who will be joining us in a little bit. Troy Blackwell from Spiffy, so we will pop him into the stream once he gets here. Guys, we're just here just to talk about exactly what it says at the bottom. Ways for advisors to take and dealerships to take the win with a customer, and that they can do it in small ways, right? It doesn't have to be these grand giant things. It doesn't have to be giving them a 10% discount off a $5,000 repair, right? This was all set up by a customer who I heard mutter the words, $600, this is why I don't go to a dealership. And 3 minutes later, he was at the parts retail counter asking for a remote battery. And they told him to come back once he had his remote back from service so they could get him the correct one. I just went to the advisor and said, hey, your customer's upset. Go get him a remote battery and put it in for him, and tell him when you deliver his car back that you noticed the remote was dead and it needed a new battery. Chance to turn the customer around. And then I sat there in the waiting room and wrote that post and put it up, and away it went. So that's what we're here for. Let's help the people out there just understand a little more about these small gestures that we can do. Kyle, you are newly out of stores, so talk to us about things that you did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to observe anytime that you're in the waiting room, listen to what's happening and listen to what people are saying, because, you know, they're talking to each other in the waiting room consistently about whatever the conversation was with the advisor, right? So if you hear those little things, you know, a key battery, a set of wipers, you know, just maybe offering to make a cup of coffee, you know, just showing that you genuinely appreciate them being there and that it's not just about a transaction, it's about a relationship. I think that's the key.
Yeah. Coach Joe?
Yeah, I want to start with this. So every customer comes into your dealership with a quiet story of their own. And those stories aren't always written by us, but it's the small moment that you just talked about that gives us a chance to rewrite that story. And if we think about this as a flow, the cost of entry is experience today. That's what your customers expect. So things like a car wash or a vacuum or an MPVI done correctly, or my RO explained to me, those are the cost of entry. That's not delight. That's the minimum requirements today. It's the price we have to pay to be engaged with our clients today. And remember, when customers praise us, they don't praise the basics. They notice when we blow up or disrupt the basics. That's when they give us notice, right? And I would say, for anyone that might be listening, the experience lives in the small discretionary behaviors. So to your point, it's not about a $3 battery, right? Or the cost of that $3 battery. It's the 3 seconds of awareness.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
And customers do come in with their own story. And to add to our story right now on this live, you have Troy Blackwell from Spiffy. Troy, welcome, sir.
Hey, Troy.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We could
Great.
not be better. So, Troy, as you know, we're talking about helping advisors and dealerships take the win. This all started from the post that I put up about a $3 key fob battery. And so that's something you guys know a lot about at Spiffy, right? You guys are helping technicians go out there into people's driveways and create these little micro moments. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think your story went viral, Dave. You got to take the win. And I think that's what we're all talking about here. What are the small things that we can do? And as we've gone out and talked to dealership groups that are curious about mobile service, how do you get started? I think, our sense is everybody knows why they should do mobile. They just don't know how. And we kind of go back and always look at what are some early things that we can do to get that adoption in the dealerships. And even if it's like this whole mindset of crawl, walk, run, and let's get them to crawl. And Dave, you and I have had conversations about this. You guys remember when BMW had that Genius program where they would have, a lot of technologies in these cars, and that was lots of years ago. And now you look at the way cars are made too. There's a lot of technology that goes into that. And that customer that's sitting there waiting to transact, that's been in your dealership for a long time, they just want to get out. And so there is a training component. So to introduce mobile, there could be a Ford Escape or a small SUV that's wrapped, and you go out and meet that customer and just do a review of the vehicle and some of the technology. And it is an entry point to say, hey, by the way, we do mobile service, and this is the handoff. And you go out and do that piece of it. And listen, it's a no charge to the customer. It's a business decision, a strategy that the dealers and will have to make. But I really like that as an entry point. I've got customers that are introducing mobile in F&I to keep them in their ecosystem. I saw a stat this week, I think in Car Dealership Guy, where retention after 3 years is around 30%. And I saw a stat this week that said, even if you go and look at 2-year customers that just bought, it was at 70, now it's at 50 or something. It's like staggering. And I think a lot of those customers are falling out, a lot of it just to convenience. It's not that the dealership did anything wrong. It's just and where mobile can come in and help them from a convenience standpoint. So that's kind of my small way. Those are just small gestures that I think that it's a business decision. You got to kind of look at it from a high level. And the CSI is huge in mobile. It's, a 12-point differentiator in the mobile space. There's this Jim Sabino up in New Jersey that broadcasts and publicizes his Google reviews almost on a daily basis. And it's impressive to see.
Yeah. I ended that post, Troy, with the statement that every moment in your service drive is either proof of the stereotype of dealerships or it's your chance to create a new one with that customer, right? And that customer that was there that day had the stereotype, right? He muttered, $600. This is why I don't go to dealerships, right? And I had people comment on that post like, yeah, exactly. That's ridiculous. I didn't say what the repair was. I don't know what the repair was that he was having done, right? So you can't say that was, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But the point is that advisor now has a chance to create a new stereotype so that customer walks out of there telling a different story, not the story of it was $600, the story of, hey, they noticed my key fob battery was dead. I was going to buy one and they did it for free for me, right? And now the $600 doesn't matter because the $3 battery took precedence over that and created a new story in his head. Kyle, how many times have you seen customers? I know you were one of those service directors that loved getting, not that you loved it that a customer was upset in your drive, but loved getting that customer for the joy of turning them around.
Amen. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, you never want it, but when it happens, it's an opportunity for you to re-engage and earn their trust and take them where they where they want to go to the best of your ability. But I'll go back to my sensei. Back in my early days, I was always the defensive guy, right? The one that was defending my tech, defending the part, defending the manufacturer, whatever it was, and I would get frustrated because I wanted to win the battle. And he told me a couple of times, he said, man, I'll tell you what, if you come up with the result, I'll give you $1 million if you can go back into that deal and get it the way that you want it to be. And every single time that I've done that, and I think about it in any heat case that I'm in, no matter what it is how do I win $1 million, right? And winning $1 million is not necessarily giving something away. It's not giving anything other than being responsive, letting them say what they need to say, coming to a solution that makes sense for everybody, and giving them and us the opportunity to try again, right? So when you get an angry customer, it's a huge opportunity for somebody that then becomes an advocate for you.
And Joe, you've heard me say more than once that I taught my advisors that do you want to win an argument or do you want to win a customer? Right? You can go win that argument today. Absolutely. 1,000% as the advisor against the customer, you can win it all day long. And then he's never coming back. Right? Or do you want to win that customer? And now you gave a little and you got that customer that's going to keep coming in. And that's the customer that comes in going, oh, Joe's not here. I'll come back tomorrow. Right. Yeah. And that's a couple of weeks ago on the Tuesday night mastermind, Joe, you talked about the tension, right? And how important that tension actually is there, right? And so that's the tension there between advisor and customer. And it's win an argument, win a customer. You choose.
Yeah. And I think when you think about reducing the friction points for the customer, there are multiple ways to approach it. Troy talked about the convenience for the customer, right? And for a business development product or center culture that we talk about, it's creating those frictionless moments. It's removing the friction for not just creating an appointment, but really connecting the client, your customer, back to your dealership so that there is a relationship. We have the opportunity for a lifelong customer. Then I'll also go one step further. You and I have often talked about this. Learning and development is, I'll use this analogy, it's the engine that teaches people how to create the transformational moments. And transformational experience don't happen by accident. You train for it, right? You coach to it, you reinforce it. It's those reps daily that create the feedback. And then when you repeat it, now all of a sudden, what was once transactional becomes really transformational. And that's what creates the experience for the client. To Kyle's point, it's not always giving something for free that the customer wants. It's the reduction of the friction moments where, hey, I thought this was going to happen because this was the story. And here's what ultimately happened. Now I got to fight from my position as a customer, right? And we want to reduce those friction points as often as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And Troy, I know, obviously, Jeremy and I do Mobile Service Monday every Monday at 4. And one of the things that he has all his mobile techs have, right, are dog bones with them, right? So when they go to the customers' houses, the pets are there and they have treats for them, right? And that's not to keep the dog from biting them when they pull into the driveway, right? It's one of those little things. It's one of those small gestures that gets a customer on your side. And you have moments every single day to do those little things to turn a customer around, Troy.
Yeah, I think, he has so many stories, obviously, with the volume that they do, but everything from carrying groceries in from the car to the into the house. I mean, but these are just things that there's not a technical playbook for it. It's just, these are things that Jeremy sits down and they have meetings They talk about it. They share these stories. They recognize. Bozar does a great job of posting lots on social media, whether it's new records or these customer service experiences. So those go a long way. And I think, as big as this retail industry is, it's relatively small, because when I see and look at Joe, I started my career in Sacramento at Roseville, at CarMax. And, that's where I first joined that automotive retail. And even in that experience, opening the Roseville location at an auto mall, it was a different way of buying cars. And, that customer that pulled into the parking lot, they couldn't just walk on a lot. We had it fenced off, and that was all by design. And it was built that way as a strategy to get the customer to walk through that front door. And they were very ready to fight, right? They were like, I hate going into dealerships. The last thing I want to do is get out of my car, and they attack me. And so, but the concept was there where we called it the Disneyland effect. It's like, welcome to CarMax. Let me tell you why we're different. And then all of a sudden you see the kind of guard come down, and then you kind of just guided that customer along. So I really, I'm grateful for my time there. And it was a time where it was a different way to buy cars, and you had to educate and that customer, and it was explosive growth. That Roseville store hit its 5-year projection in year one. Wow. I mean, out of the gate, we're selling close to 1,000 cars a month at that location. So it was crazy. But yeah, Joe, right? That's where this small world kind of comes into play. So
100%.
Yeah. And so Kyle, to come back to you and the, so you've recently moved from dealership world to joining those of us out on the vendor / partner side of the world. And now you have a whole different set of challenges to take these small gestures out to dealerships. So what things are you looking at right now that you can do to start to help with these small gestures?
I think it's just being a true partner. When I'm in a store, look at my surroundings and keep my ears open and look for opportunities for that one little thing, right? So if we're doing a walk around in a car, we notice that there's a buffable scratch or something on there, and we're able to do that for free today. Telling the team, hey, this is a small win, right? If we do this, it's something that maybe it's on the passenger side, they don't even know about it, but I noticed it on the walk around. And then when you bring the car back out for active delivery, hey, remember that quote unquote scratch that we saw on the passenger side of the vehicle? It was easily removable, so we went ahead and took care of it for you. So it's just those small things. And from a vendor standpoint, how many come in and just sit at the desk and they just they're hanging out and not paying attention and caring about your business and what's happening, right? So when I'm in a store, I'm going to think just like I did when it was my store. I want to help in that way. And it's those really small things that make a huge difference from a customer standpoint. And I think from a vendor standpoint, if you win a customer while you're there, you're a winner too.
Absolutely. That's in the end, that's what we're all here for, is the customer, right? Without the customer, none of us have a place to go to work every day.
Amen.
So let's as we close this out, we'll go around, get some final thoughts. We'll start in the middle here with Coach Joe.
So I think it all starts with creating the right culture, the environment that is transformational as an experience rather than transactional. And every customer interaction that you have is building a lifelong connection. So to Troy's point earlier, with attrition rates for customers, with attrition rates after warranty, we want to be careful that we're focused on that experience. And then that builds that lifelong loyalty, that lifelong connection. And I would also say, when you are thinking about your business from a business development side, you want to be thinking about how do all the pieces connect to that culture, right? And if you're really driving an experience, you want to remove all the friction points. And the last thing I'll say to that point, when it's the small human moments that connect the person, the customer, with your dealership. It's when you can create that story, as Troy alluded to, that now I can really speak on. I can go and tell my friends. I don't have to be an advocate, but I will be if that result is you changed my experience.
Mm-hmm. Right, Joe. Before you go, give a shout out to where you're from here, not your hometown.
Yes. I'm Joe Clementi, the Executive Vice President here at Traver Connect, where experience matters. We're a full-service business development center and a learning and development culture that we can help you and your teams build a real learning and development strategy around your business. Thanks, Dave.
All righty, Kyle.
Yeah, to piggyback on Coach, man, I've learned so much from him in the last year. But it's not a transaction; it's an experience, a relationship, and one that needs to continue. And it starts with leadership, allowing the opportunity for the employees to be able to have that relationship, right? Make the decisions that will benefit them, to be able to further engage without asking for permission, right? And I truly feel legacy employees equal legacy customers. So if we're doing the right thing consistently and honoring our commitments and really feeling the relationship and showing value, the business just continues to grow. It's about long term, not about the big hit, the quick hits.
Same shout out there, Kyle.
So TechWall by Gratis. We are a full service from phone call and appointment coordination all the way through payment and then some.
Leaving us hanging. Oh, look at that! You left us hanging there. All right. Well, when Kyle comes back, we'll let him finish that. Troy, final thoughts and a shout out from the company.
Yeah, for us, I think mobile is still what I would call a relatively new business unit for the dealerships. They really need to treat it as a separate department, different P&L, the separate P&L. But from a customer perspective, we call it driveway envy. And when you're out and about in the neighborhood and you're working on a car, guess what happens? That neighbor usually will pop out. That nosy neighbor is going to look and go, "Hey, what's going on over there at your house? What do you mean? They come to you?" And so we're seeing, through our customers and ourselves doing this, capturing some of those customers because they just see the experience and from a convenience standpoint. And they may not have bought the car from your location, but maybe the next time they see that van and they go, "Wow, they come to you. I might consider them." And so again, those are just some of the best practices that I kind of want to leave with the group in terms of great customer experiences. It's not going away. It's just going to be more and more. So the dealerships that we're talking to that are the ones that are adopting to this earlier are going to really be at an advantage, in my opinion. So, but in terms of where I'm from, Spiffy Mobile Service. So we are a full stack solution for the dealerships. So think of us as we can come in and consult and educate. So following kind of Coach Joe here, I do less selling and more educating and coaching of what mobile does. And then the sales come just because we're talking about it, right? So we upfit the vans through lots of technician feedback, the way the van should be set up to go out and do these mobile jobs. And then the software that we built in-house to run our own business, we're now taking that software and putting it in the hands of the dealerships and saying, here's some things that can help accelerate, learn from our early mistakes, and what are some technologies that can kind of help you get there, and from route optimizing to scheduling to technician MPIs, all of it. So I'm very excited. Thank you for including me in the panel today.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. There's a comment down there from David. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Hetty. Appreciate him being here because he is a master technician. So he's out there turning hours and took a little time to tune in. And just a simple, our customers want to feel wanted and appreciated. Small gesture and go a long way. Some more there that you can read. David, thanks so much for taking a little time away from the wrench to join us here. We appreciate it and appreciate your interactions on LinkedIn. Kyle, you want to finish up your pitch?
I'll try, as long as.
Oh my word, he's frozen. Look at this. All right. So that leaves pitch time to Dave Foy. So NADA is coming up. Fixed Ops Mastermind and Kaylee Filio teaming up for on the floor interviews with your teams. Reach out to either me or Kaylee to find out how to get involved with that. Great packages, one simple price of $1,500. No super crazy high prices, plus integration into all the platforms. After NADA with your interviews, you guys own the content. We give it all to you, so you can do with whatever you want with it after. We edit it all up for you and things, and then you can do what you want with it. And if you want to be part of the Fixed Ops Mastermind ecosystem, reach out to me also. We've got packages that'll involve you in everything that we do throughout the entire year. Again, for super low package prices, no crazy prices, and not hundreds of vendors. So you're not a needle in a haystack. Come and join us. Troy, we appreciate your sponsorship of Mobile Service Monday with Jeremy and I every Monday. And everybody out there, we are grateful you took a little time to come and join us. Reach out with any questions that you have for any of these guys. And if you need a scheduling solution, reach out to Kyle. You need BDC solutions, reach out to Joe. And if you need some mobile service solutions consulting, reach out to Troy. Everybody, thanks so much, and we'll catch you next time.